You're watching NFL Daily by Chat Sports, and I'm Mitchell Renz. Today's show is presented by our good friends Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/chat. You're going to save 20% off your balls. Promise y'all. They're going to thank you. All right, let's get into today's show. We got it on around Jamal Adams, and what the heck is going on with him? There is a report that Adams wants a trade if the Jets do not sign him to an extension. Why is that interesting? Because Adams, he wants a deal now. Yet the Jets, they kind of want to play this waiting game a little bit, and he's got 2 years left on his rookie deal. For those of you that aren't maybe running the New York Jets, we'd say, yeah, I would try to get this guy to a long-term contract because, in my opinion, he's one of the best defensive players in the entire league. But for some reason, Adam Gase, the New York Jets, I don't know if they don't like Jamal Adams or if they want to move on from him, but we've had trade rumors around him for about an entire year now. And it started off all the way back in October of last season when the Jets were like, no, Jamal, we're not going to trade you. And the next day, apparently the Jets were taking offers for Adams. Now we're getting a little bit more details on what exactly Adams is going to cost because y'all can see up on screen right now. 2018, 2019, he was one of the most productive players in the NFL on a bad football team. That's just plain and simple. So if the Jets want a first and a third round pick for Adams, it might seem like a lot. However, if you're telling me right now I can go out and get Jamal Adams, a leader on the field and in the locker room for a first and a third round pick, I think there's going to be a lot of NFL teams that are going to be very interested in that because of how dynamic of a player he truly is. Now, he could go to a few different destinations. There's going to be every single team, okay? Let me say this. Every single NFL team is going to have some interest in Adams. But when I think about the top 5 teams and the most potential, I guess, where he could go, I'll tell you after I ask you this question. Where will Jamal Adams play in 2020? I want you to throw it in the comments section below. Here at Chat Sports, we do shows all the time around the top players and where they could potentially land. For me, the top 5 suitors for Jamal are the Dallas Cowboys. I think when you talk about a team that could land him, I think they're the front runner. And also, he said before, he wouldn't mind playing for his favorite team. Then you got the Cleveland Browns. They're making a lot of moves this offseason. They've been very aggressive, and they do have a need at safety. The Houston Texans, after the DeAndre Hopkins trade, let's face it, anything is possible, and they need help on defense. The Miami Dolphins, another team that spent a whole bunch of money in free agency, and they also have a glaring hole at safety. Presented by Manscaped, manscaped.com/chat. And then the Philadelphia Eagles. Howie Roseman is one of the most aggressive general managers. They have a need on defense. Those are my top 5 possible suitors for Jamal Adams. So I'm going to hit you with this question again. Where will Adams play in 2020? I want every single person that watches this video to scroll on down and comment below. We did get a little bit of some good news today, actually. We do have an update around the NFL, and New York Governor said the teams in his state can return to their facilities for training after a pause of a very, very long 2 months. And I think every single person who's watching this, and I think everyone in general, we want sports back. We want life to just go back to being a little bit more normal. Now, the fact that facilities have opened up in New York, that gives the green light to the Buffalo Bills. The only team in New York, as I say multiple times, I'm from up north, and it always blows my mind how many people still think that the Giants and the Jets do play in New York. But no, they play in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and their training facilities are in New Jersey. So for everyone out there that sees this NFL update, that everyone that sees this from the New York Governor, remember, it's for the Buffalo Bills really right now. Now, there are some reports out there that the Giants and Jets could potentially start practicing in New York, but hey, we'll have to wait and see on that. So for everyone that's watching in New York and for everyone that's watched this video in general, all I want you to do is that you're going to scroll on down when you get hit with the YouTube ad break, and I want you to let me know what city you're watching this from video right now. Let's now go into Hunter Henry, my man. I love me some Hunter Henry, and I'm really interested to see what he's going to be able to bring to the table this year, year 5. So we already made a video that the Chargers went out and that they tagged Henry, and that's going to cost them $11.1 million. And I'll be honest, I'm going to tip my cap here to Hunter because I really like how he's handling this whole situation. He said, obviously, that he wants an extension. What NFL player wouldn't want an extension? What NFL player wouldn't want a little extra security around his paycheck? But he said this, that he's okay playing under the franchise tag. And remember, the deadline to get an extension done in the NFL is July 15th. The reason why I really like the way that Henry's handling this, and maybe seeing, a little of a playbook out of Melvin Gordon, how it didn't work for him, he bottom line is just saying this: I want to play for the Chargers, and I'm going to show up for my team. So here's the exact quote from Hunter Henry on not getting an extension. Yeah, obviously, I think I would like to get something done. Just security and long term, and just with the team and the franchise. It's another year of playing football, man. That's how I look at it. He also said this, though, which, again, I really like that he did. Whatever the situation is, I'll be looking forward to going out there with this squad. I'm really looking forward to this team, the potential, and what we have going for us in the 2020 season. Because let's face it, if the Chargers want to get back to being that 2018 form, I think you do need to have Hunter Henry out on the football field, because even though he didn't play in 2018 due to that ACL injury, they won the division. They were one of the best teams in the NFL. Now, yes, you have a new quarterback there, Tyrod Taylor, Justin Herbert. It'll be a debate that we've had. But Hunter Henry, when fully healthy, in my opinion, is actually one of the best tight ends in the entire NFL. Like, I would make that argument. So you know what? Is Hunter Henry a top 5 NFL tight end? I want you to let me know. Give me a Y for yes, or, you can scroll on down there, give me an N for no. The show is all about talking, debating sports. Hunter Henry, is he a top 5 NFL tight end? Y for yes, N for no. I'm going to give you my top 5 NFL tight ends, but first, if you're trying to get a nice little tight end in your life, go to manscaped.com/chat. And you can save 20% off on the Lawnmower 3.0. Now, for those of you that, want to clean yourself up, the best way to do that is by going out and getting the Lawnmower 3.0. Rechargeable battery, no tugging, no pulling. It's super clean, easy shave. Like, literally Manscaped's slogan, your balls will thank you, because I promise you, they will. This is a great, great product for all men. Shipping is 100% free, and it's really a great deal. But if you go to manscaped.com/chat, you can save 20% off, and also a portion of the proceeds goes to ball cancer as well. I'm going to put the link in the comments. I'm going to put it in the description. Go show Manscaped that you support them, and go show Manscaped that, hey, you're trying to get a tight end in your life. So I promised you I'd get into my top 5 tight ends. At number 1, I got George Kittle, just because of what this man is able to do, not just as a receiver, but as a blocker, because out of all the players that you see here, George Kittle's the best blocker. Then you got Travis Kelce. I mean, if you play fantasy football, 3 straight years of being the top tight end. Zach Ertz, I think he's a great receiver, could be the top receiver on that team. Austin Hooper, played last season with the Atlanta Falcons, just got a nice new contract, 3 years, $42 million with the Cleveland Browns. And then maybe one of the best stories in the entire NFL from last season, Darren Waller, a player who had 18 career catches. He then goes to have a career year with the Las Vegas Raiders, 90 catches, over 1,000 yards, and 3 touchdowns. If you don't like my top 5 tight ends, you know what you can do? You can yell at me on Instagram, at Mitchell Renz 365. I promise you, I'll be there and I'll be awaiting. So now let's get into this little bit of a debate here, right? Because I'm going to show you something, and you're going to be like, really, Mitch? This is a question? Yeah. Who's the better quarterback? Lamar Jackson, type LJ, or I want you to type SD for Sam Darnold. The reason why I am asking this question, not because I came up with it, no, because ESPN's Dan Orlovsky is getting really, really bored, and I'm starting to wonder, maybe he needs to go out and buy Manscaped, because he seems a little bit too bored at home, and he's straight up said, give me Darnold over any quarterback drafted in the last 3 years. Really? Really? I mean, that means you're taking Sam Darnold over Lamar Jackson, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Like, I get the idea of maybe trying to get content, but Orlovsky the last 2 weeks has just been doing way too much. Like, Dan, you need to pump it back a little bit, because I like Sam Darnold. He's a fun quarterback. But there's no reason that you should be saying stuff like you're taking him over Lamar Jackson. So here's the quote that Orlovsky had. You mean to tell me that Lamar Jackson, if he got drafted by the Jets, he wins MVP? You mean to tell me that if Sam Darnold goes to a team that has a top 5 run game against games similar to the Ravens and a top 5 defense similar to the Ravens, we don't have a very different outlook on Sam Darnold? I don't really totally disagree with his statement because, let's face it, the Ravens, much better team and organization than the New York Jets. However, if you're telling me straight up you're going to take Sam Darnold over any quarterback drafted in the last 3 seasons, including Lamar Jackson, Dan, I'm sorry, I'm going to call you insane because I'm not just going to look at stats because stats clearly show that Lamar Jackson's better. Lamar Jackson also has an MVP, and just in terms of being more dynamic, I mean, it's not even close in my opinion. I think Darnold is a fun player, and yes, he was drafted before Lamar Jackson. But I think we're just getting a little bit carried away here on just some ridiculous things to say during the offseason. If you need help coming up with content, ESPN, if you need help coming up with content, Dan Orlovsky, please hit me up. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. And for NFL fans, so you can actually get content that's worth watching, and if you love debating and talking about sports, hit that sub button. Turn on your notifications because guess what? That's exactly what we're going to do all offseason, and it's exactly what we're going to do right now. So Orlovsky said he would take Darnold over any quarterback drafted in the last 3 years. When I think about some other notable quarterbacks drafted in the last 3 years, I didn't even put Joe Burrow. I didn't even put 2 on here. I put 5 other quarterbacks. So what I want you to do is this, okay? Which of these quarterbacks are better than Sam Darnold? If you think Baker Mayfield is better than Sam Darnold, I want you to type BM. If you think Josh Allen is better than Darnold, type JA. If Kyler Murray's better, type KM. If you think Daniel Jones, DJ, and Drew Lock, type DL. Bottom line, I want you to let me know which quarterbacks drafted in the last 3 years are better than Sam Darnold. I'll go down in the comments and I'll look because I am very curious what y'all have to say. And if you haven't already watched my video on top quarterbacks entering this year, please go check it out. I would definitely appreciate that. So, notable young quarterbacks better than Sam Darnold. Let me know in the comments section below which of those guys that you would take over Darnold. Let's get into the last thing today. So, if you're alive on Sunday, really the only thing that's on Twitter, Instagram, anything, is the match, which is Tiger and Peyton versus Phil and Tom. And I like that they're doing this. So for those of you that don't know, you're basically seeing just 4 legends, right? 2 golf legends in Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, plus 2 football legends, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. So they're basically doing a best ball golf tournament. For those of you that don't know what best ball golf tournament means, it simply means both of them are teeing off, they take the best shot, and then they continue to go on. But they are competing in an 18-hole golf match to raise money to help battle the Big C. The Big C obviously has kind of hurt everyone, but I really like when pro athletes kind of get together and they do something special. So the betting odds before the start of this thing, which was today, like literally like as I'm filming now, this golf match is going on, was Woods and Manning at minus 190, Mickelson and Brady at plus 170. I'll be honest, I haven't watched much of it because guess what? I've been at work, I've been making NFL Daily, but from what I've heard, you got Peyton Manning's the best trash talker, Tiger Woods is still the best golfer, and Tom Brady is getting absolutely roasted for his golf game. Now, maybe we'll do golf shows here in the future. I don't know, but I can promise you one thing. We will continue to do NFL stuff. If you haven't yet, hit that sub button because Chat Sports, we got your back.